Alright guys, Jack by DFS man. Sorry guys I didn't get a video out for a final look or anything this week. Had some unstable news on Saturday. My mom had a stroke. Right now she's stable. Not sure how that results are going to come out just yet, but there's not much I can do with COVID limitations and things like that. My brother is actually with her and kind of stabilizing, kind of being there for her and things like that. They're only allowing like one primary visitor and things like that. So, kind of one of them unfortunate news, especially around the holidays, to get that kind of news. But nonetheless, I'm here to break down some Monday Night Football for you guys. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Hope you guys all had a great Sunday and did well on your Sunday day slates yesterday. Moving on to the slate, familiar rivalry here between the Ravens and the Browns. Could be another great game for Lamar Jackson, which I kind of think the Ravens win this. Right now, I think the rivalry is like, I was looking up the stats earlier. The Ravens lead the series actually 32-11, which kind of supports that the Ravens just kind of have the Browns number generally in these contests. And after this COVID thing, which a lot of Ravens were out last game due to the coronavirus had affected the team, they should have most of their people back tonight to play against the Browns. I don't think there's too many out now with the COVID situation, other than like Des Bryant or somebody, which I don't know how he's probably back on the practice squad or either they put him on IR or something, but he's generally not getting a lot of reps as it was. He was just primarily getting reps because they were so declined with the team having so many COVID tests that a lot of them are out, and he was going to have to play to help support the receiving core. But now most of those guys should be back. And should have a good game on our hands tonight. First, looking at the quarterbacks, obviously, we have Lamar Jackson. He's did pretty well against the Browns. He's had a 27-34 and a 28 the last three against them. Baker Mayfield not fared as well, a 20-15 and 11. First meeting between these two, I think the Ravens won 38-6 or something like that earlier in the year. I still think that the Ravens are fighting for their playoff chances, and they pretty much need to win out to solidify a playoff spot. So I see the Ravens pretty much coming with all they got tonight to solidify that. I'm going to lean more on the Ravens side tonight myself. Think Lamar Jackson gets it done against a good Browns team this year. Don't have Boomish face. I think for me, you don't need both quarterbacks tonight to win. I think I'm primarily going with some Lamar Jackson stacks, and I'm gonna just go there. And if it bites me, it bites me. But I think that's the way to go tonight. As always, guys, if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribe to so you can see more of the channel's information that we put out. We'll be doing NBA videos soon. As soon as the NBA season starts, I'll start putting out that content, as well as continuing with the NFL stuff the rest of the season, whether that be the weeks, the playoffs, etc. We'll be providing that content as well. And if you guys are not new to the channel, please hit that like button. Helps grow the channel, helps get it out there for us to continue to grow. And guys, I appreciate all the tweets and the likes and prayers yesterday for my mom as well. Means a lot, and I appreciate that. Moving on to our running backs. Obviously, we got some committee backfield for both sides. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb lead the backfield for the Browns. Neither one of them have fared well against the Ravens D. I think last three for against the Ravens, Hunt's had a 0, a 7, and a 12. Chubb has had a 42, which was a big game, and a 5 and a 7. J.K. Dobbins has kind of come onto the scene for the Ravens on that side and kind of solidified himself as the main back for the Ravens. However, they are still running a committee for me. But for me, I'm pretty much going to lean Dobbins. He's just getting the rock the most, and he's doing well running the block for them. With him, he's had a 0-0-14. Of course, he's a young rookie, was a rookie, and then it's either the second year, I believe, for him. Gus Edwards still gets some run, but not as much. 5, 8, and a 2. And Ingram has had a 9, a 17, and a 3. They're not going to lean on these Gus Edwards and Mark Ingram as much as they had. I still think Mark Ingram's technically the starter, but he's not getting the ball nowhere near as much as Dobbins is. Dobbins had 11 rushes last game. Gus Edwards had 7. Ingram had 6. But as you can tell, most of the volume is going to J.K. Dobbins. He had a nice game last game too. So I mean, I just think Dobbins is the guy you go with here. I don't think I'm going to play either one of the Browns backs, just because I think they're going to be playing from behind and they're probably going to have to throw. And then that's not going to lead well for the backs. I mean, they may get some reception yards. I mean, they're not catching a ton out of the backfield though. Hunt's had a 1, a 2, and a 3 target game. Chubb's had a 3 and a 1 target game. Just don't see them being valued as much in the target of the passing game to matter. And I think if they're going to be playing from behind, I don't see that working out for them very well. So for me, I do think if you're going to go with a back in the Browns backfield, it's probably Chubb for me. And then obviously Dobbins on the side of the Ravens, which for me, I primarily will probably go Dobbins and then not play the Browns backfield, just with the history and all. Obviously, Jarvis Landry's came on the scene and been playing really well for the Ravens with OBJ being out for the season. He's had 11 and 10 in the last 2 games with targets, 31 and a 20. He's probably going to be the go-to guy for them tonight, especially if they're trying to come back. And another guy to mention is probably Rashard Higgins. Maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones. They did sign Marvin Hall off. I guess the Lions released him, and then he's playing some with them now, so he could be in the mix a little bit. But I do think you get more of like a Landry, Rashard Higgins, Peoples-Jones, slight maybe on him. So you could either go with either of those 3. I think all 3 of those are in play. I don't consider Marvin Hall a real deep play. For the Ravens side, Marquise Brown, Willie Snead, Boykin maybe. Duvernay does play some snaps. For me, it's probably Brown or Snead for me tonight. Snead has played well against the Browns. He's had a 14-0 and a 16. That 0 could have just been he could have been injured or something. Marquise Brown has had a 6, a 2, and an 8. Put up an 18 earlier in the year. I think that's the way I'm going to go. And Landry has actually done moderately well, 28, 14, and 11. So regardless if he's they are playing behind or whatever, they're still going to have to pass the ball. And I see Landry is probably that main guy catching for them. I'm probably going to go Brown or Snead myself to kind of stack with that Lamar stack. I think that's probably the best way to go. If you're going to go the Baker Mayfield side, I say Landry, Peoples-Jones, and Rashard Higgins are all pretty much in play. Higgins has had some big games. Peoples-Jones had a nice game last game. They were out there, but hadn't done much other than that. He's probably my least favorite on the Browns side. I think for me on either side is probably Landry and Higgins for the Browns side. Probably Brown and Snead for me on the Ravens side. With some small consideration for like a Duvernay or something. You never know. He does do their kick returns and stuff like that, and you never know, he could run one back for a touchdown. He has done it before on a showdown slate. So just things to mention on that. Other than that, the rest of these guys are pretty much not going to be fades for me. Only guy down here that's kind of cheaper is probably Peoples-Jones, and that's probably the only guy I may consider on the Brown side. But primarily, I'm going to run the Ravens stacks myself. On the Ravens side for the tight ends, Mark Andrews is pretty much the leader of this whole group. he's the only guy going to see major production. He's done really well against the Browns, 13, 27, and 23. To me, he's a must-have tonight with the history and just how well he's involved in that offense, and he's more of a go-to guy for Lamar Jackson. Um, I think if you're going to build Lamar Jackson stacks, he's a must-have for me tonight. Other than that, you don't have too much on this other side. I don't see Boyle on there, so I'm going to see if Boyle is going to actually be on the field tonight. I'm not too sure. Let me check the DraftKings here and see the news on Boyle while I'm at it, and see if he's going to be playing for them tonight, because I'm not too sure that he will be on the field for them tonight. He may still be dealing with COVID, and if he is on the field, he's usually not too much. Let's see, Nick Boyle, he's on IR. So he's dealing with injuries to the MCL, PCL, and hamstring. So he's on season-ending reserve. So probably going to have to look to a guy like Wilson again as a backup. They do play some backup stuff, so trying to look here and see. So Wilson is questionable. Let's see. He's questionable for tonight, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then I guess the next guy in line would be Tomlinson, which I think he's more of a blocker. But he was on back to the practice squad on Thursday, so chances are you may get Wilson to play. If Wilson does play, I do like him for that cheap price. And what was he, like 800? Yeah, 800. I do. I mean, I like him for 800 for a way to save tonight. I do think you can measure that and play that for Luke Wilson at $800 price. For the side of the Browns, Hooper did not practice Saturday. He could not play tonight. If he doesn't play, then obviously you get some cheap value with Harrison Bryant. He didn't. I don't know how much production he had, but funny thing is that David Njoku, he had 14 the last time out against the Ravens earlier this year. So this could be set up for a cheap play at David Njoku. Could play tonight and have a nice game against the Ravens. I mean, stranger things have happened, but at $1,000 price, if Hooper is out, some consideration for him tonight on the Brown side of the ball. For me, it's probably just Mark Andrews. If Luke Wilson plays, you could throw him in for a small price, but I don't think you'll have to get that low tonight. I think you could kind of go with Mark Andrews, kind of build with that. I do like Lamar Jackson at captain tonight, Mark Andrews at captain as well. You can do like a wide receiver of Marquise Brown or Dobbins if you wanted to as well. Those are primarily my best captains tonight, or I think the best captains to play tonight. Hooper is in play if he plays, but I think if he doesn't play, then you're looking at obviously Harrison Bryant or David Njoku. And then Luke Wilson, obviously, and Mark Andrews are both in play. For me, probably main guys are probably going to be Mark Andrews for me on the Ravens side, and then if Hooper doesn't play, Harrison Bryant from me on the other side. If Hooper does play, then Hooper. Moving on to the kickers, Justin Tucker's a hell of a kicker. Obviously in play. Coda Parkey it's my most hated kicker in the NFL. Dude can be awesome and then turn around and be pure shit for like the next 3 games. For me, I think they're both in play. For me, I'm probably going to set side away from the kickers tonight. I think you just play the receivers, the running backs, Mark Andrews, and Lamar Jackson is going to be for me. I'm probably going to avoid playing kickers tonight, but I do think they're in play. This could be a defensive matchup in the end. I mean, neither one of these teams, the Browns have actually been better of late to me than the Ravens have been, but these teams are rivals, and they spice it up a little bit when they play each other. Obviously could see the Ravens just stomping them too, so wouldn't surprise me none tonight. As far as the defenses, obviously we're going to say probably the Ravens. If the Browns come out and they can't do much against that Ravens tough defense, then you're going to see the Ravens score well. They did get a 15 the last time they played on DK, so 15 is a nice number for a $4,400 price. So obviously you could go with that. I do think they're both technically in play. For me, if I play defense, it's obviously going to be the Ravens side. And I'm just going all Ravens tonight. I just think they're the team to beat tonight. As far as guys, what we mentioned past few videos, obviously Draft Dashboard is a tool that I use to make my lineups and projections, etc. You guys can try this for 30 days down in the description of the video. Click that link and sign up. Obviously, you can find your projections, find defense of matchups, what they did in the last history as far as what they've done in the last three to 5 games. You can find cheat sheets, top players of the week, sleeper studs, player trends, and then make your own watch list. And you can provide that to make a lineup and using the lineup optimizer. Use that to build up to 150 lineups that you can export over to Draftkings or FanDuel. That is a great tool to use to build your lines and critique it in your own way to help you win and help you do better in DFS tournaments. Guys, questions as always in the YouTube comment sections is always welcome, as well on Twitter. You guys can follow me over there. If you're not, I will link that in the description as well. Guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day and good luck tonight on the Monday night slate. We'll see you soon for a first look video coming soon. See you guys.